Hello Wargamers, today I want to talk about my experience at the Dark Star GT in Roseville, Minnesota. It was last weekend, so May 2nd and 3rd at the Fantasy Flight Game Center, which if you're not familiar with Fantasy Flight, they're the guys that make some cool games such as X-Wing and Game of Thrones living card game and even Warhammer 40k Conquest. So yeah, really cool place to be. It's a huge space. Well lit, clean, tons of cool artwork from all their properties, and yeah, a store to boot, and yes, a cafe that serves food, non-alcoholic beverages, and beer too. So it was very nice. It was a really well-run tournament. I had a lot of fun with it, but I want to talk about how the list actually performed. I ended up getting, what was it? 13th overall, I think, and 5th in painting out of 53 participants. So it was not too bad for my first GT. And more importantly, just I had a lot of fun, and it was a really good introduction to the meta up here in Minnesota, seeing as I had just moved up here. So yeah, what is the list though? That's what you want to know, right? I'm talking about how it did, but what was it? Well, it was a 2 CAD list. The first CAD was Tau Empire, and the second was Farsight Enclaves. So from the Tau Empire, have a buff commander with 2 marker drones. He also has a drone controller, if you couldn't guess. Then for elites, I have 1 Riptide with ion accelerator, twin link fusion blasters, stims, and early warning override. For troops, I have 2 units of Kroot with Hound, just 10-man units. And then a Skyray from Tau Empire as well. For the Enclaves detachment, I know, super fluffy, I went with an Ethereal as my HQ. You know, it is the cheapest way to get into the Enclaves army list, so that's what I did there. I took 2 units of crisis suits with 2 missile pods each and target locks. And then they have 3 marker light drones with them, so 2 of those units, 1 there and 1 there. And then my third troop choice from Farsight was this unit of fusion blaster suits with 2 fusion blasters each and target locks. Well, 2 of them have target locks. Oh, and I guess I should mention as well, the Riptide from Farsight has the same loadout as the last guy, but he also has the Earthcast pilot array. And then these broadsides actually were with the Empire detachment. But, you know, they're just normal missile sides, early warning override, smart missiles, high yield missiles, missile drones. Kind of a theme going there. But yeah, that's the list. I think it turned, you know, like I said, I got 13th overall or so. So it went pretty well. I ended up winning 3 of my 5 games, and yeah. So let's kind of talk about how the missions went. The first mission, I'm just going to go over the basically the primary mission, because the missions for Dark Star are a little interesting. They have primary, secondary, tertiary, and yes, quaternary missions, just in case tertiary weren't close enough for you. So the deciding one in almost all of these was the primary. There was one where the secondary was the deciding factor. But yeah, so mission 1 was against Tyranids and Demons. So you might guess how this went. I lost, and the mission was deployment zones. So basically you had to keep your deployment zone out of the hands of the enemy and get into the enemy's deployment zone. So it was a little tough for me to do against Tyranids and Demons put together. It was a real nasty list. Then mission 2 was Table Quarters versus Blood Angels. I ended up winning that one basically on a technicality. My opponent had not taken an independent character out of one of his units, and that cost him the deciding table quarter there. So, but you know, the game's a game of memory, and that's how it goes sometimes, I guess. But yeah, so that one was a win. Mission 3 was objectives, you know, so 6 objectives, just kind of like the scouring, versus Grey Knights and Sisters. I won that one. Mission 4 was basically a center objective, and that was versus a Necron Decurion. And I lost that one. That was the first time I've played the new Necrons, and it was really tough, guys. I probably could have pulled it out if I made a few other decisions. And like I said, 40K is a game of remembering things. I forgot that I had the vectored retro thrusters on my buff commander, and that could have gotten me onto that objective and maybe claimed it at the end of the game, winning me that. But like I said, I lost that one. And then mission 5 was kill points, more or less. You had to nominate a unit every turn, and if you killed it, you got a point, and if you didn't kill it, you couldn't get a point from killing that unit again, or in the future. So it was kind of a get it or you don't situation for kill points there, and I ended up winning that one versus guard, and yeah. So all in all, it was a really fun tournament. I don't know if I really would change anything in the list at all. The Skyray was not particularly useful. I probably could have used just more crisis suits instead. That probably would have been a better use of points. But really, the 2 3-man missile units with 3 drones each worked really well with the commander. There's a few times I was able to start the commander with one of them, and then once they died off, switch them to the other, and yeah, basically not lose functionality with the commander, because that's one of the downsides with the commander, right? Is that he can not be as effective if he runs out of guys to hang out with. So having duplicates in this way was beneficial for me, and also gave me a few different options for market light targeting, right? Because I can target one unit with these guys and the commander, another unit with that guy and the commander, and then third unit with the Skyray, which really was the best thing that the Skyray did the whole time. For the most part, he didn't really come up against anything that needed missiles exactly like the ones on the Skyray. The only flying monstrous creatures I fought were in that first game that I just got stomped on, and there was a flyer with the Grey Knights army, but I think that was it for the most part. Mostly ground-based armies at the GT that I ran up against. So maybe I lucked out on that. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But it, like I said, it was a lot of fun. Really well-run event. I guess not a lot else to say about that. I would encourage people to go again in the future, and I know I definitely will. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions on this list about how it performed or anything at all about the GT or anything like that. So, thanks for watching, guys, and happy wargaming.